Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this.
90 corridor here, the New York Thruway, where we could get some rain and snow mixing in across that region. I've been checking the obs here in Albany the last couple of hours. No ground truth to this, so they're not recording any rain or snow officially, but a couple of sprinkles can be expected, especially if you're trying to travel. So just a big heads up on all of that. We'll take it back to the Midwest, and we're seeing a little bit of light snow across the Arrowhead of Minnesota. That's exiting the region right now. And here into the UP of Michigan, some occasional rain showers, but nothing stormy at this time. The biggest issue are those winds that are just howling throughout parts of Montana, into the Dakotas, across Wyoming right now. And those winds are pushing the air up the mountains, and we're getting some scattered snow showers as a result of this. So these are going to stay scattered. They could bring a brief burst across the region, but generally the wind is going to be the biggest problem compared to anything else, Tevin. So that's going to be what we need to track going forward through the rest of tonight, and that can be just as dangerous as storms sometimes.
And in some cases it can be worse too. In fact, we've already
Thanksgiving holiday. Right now it is a beautiful day and evening across Florida. We've got high pressure, which is in control. Look at the visible satellite. It's hard to even find any clouds across the region at all. But we are going to start to see some changes as that high pulls out and that cold front gets a little bit closer. And we'll start to see some heavy downpours begin to pick up across the region. I think this really gets started late tomorrow, continuing into your Thursday and into Friday as well. Rainfall amounts 1 to 3 inches widespread across the region. Notice some of these yellow colors kind of popping in across central Florida especially. That's where we could get as much as maybe 3 to 5 inches of rainfall. Now, the GFS says, I like the same placement. Generally along I-4 and southward will be the best chance for any of that heavier rain, but it's not as aggressive in bringing in the 3 to 5 inches, which could get us into a little bit of trouble and lead to some localized flash flooding. So that high pressure is going to start to steer this moisture back towards Florida, especially into the Keys and southern parts of the state. And as that cold front that Chris was just talking about gets a little bit closer, that's going to help to pick up a little upper level disturbance, which will then increase and help steer that moisture across the region, also provide a little bit more lift into the atmosphere. The upper level winds will add lift into northern parts of the state as well. So all those things working together to bring some unsettled conditions across the region. So just be prepared as you are traveling over the next couple of days that heavy rain is going to be making a comeback. Chris?
Can you believe Thanksgiving?
It's coming. I made my list. We all were like on a group text last night saying, I'm bringing this. Who's got the cranberries?
But holy smokes.
Are you ready?
No.
No?
Mentally, I'm always ready, but not Jacqui.
And we'll also watch that move in along I-95 by late in the day. Another big story we're tracking tomorrow is this moisture across the Keys and South Florida is going to be lifting northward, and this is going to bring some showers and thunderstorms to the Sunshine State. Generally from about the I-4 corridor southward, downpours could bring 1 to 3 inches of rain and some flash flooding. Jeras meteorologist Tevin Wooten is here as well. He's on the radar tonight. We're going to get to him in just a little bit, but first we want to start with the active weather alerts that are happening right now.
That's right. Nearly 3.5 million under wind alerts, a few 100,000 under winter alerts, and nearly 1 million under some sort of fire alert.
Finally, no flood alerts, but we are still seeing some evacuations in towns that are underwater. And another powerful storm is on the way for the west, and that could make scenes like this. Center, I'm meteorologist Jacqui. Jeras, we are tracking what obviously is one huge storm affecting the nation's midsection. A lot of that energy, you can see the big curly Q up there into parts of Canada. That is a classic comma-shaped storm that we learn about in Meteorology 101, but we're being influenced by the tail end of this front, and some moisture is getting drawn up ahead of that front now, and we're finally getting some rain and a chilly rain across much of the Great Lakes into parts of the Ohio Valley and middle Mississippi River Valley as well. The rain is light to moderate. That's the good news, but just enough to make everything wet and kind of a nuisance. Kind of easy, I feel like, to overdrive in these kind of conditions. So make sure you use all that with very, very cautious windshield wipers and everything, and slowing down a little bit here for tonight. Look at the temperature difference too. We've got 60s out ahead of the front still, even after the sun's going down, and back behind it, that's where we have the rain. You can see the convergence line right on the leading edge, right there. Do you see it? That is where the cold front is, and then we've got the chilly showers coming behind it. Detroit, You've made it through the day on the dry side, but that's not going to last much longer. If you like the mild temperatures, do a quick little run around the house and then come back and watch the rest of the show, because this is going to be kind of the end of the road for you here. The rain has pulled out of Chicago already. St. Louis, you've been watching some showers. A little heavier on the south side of town. We put on lightning detection, not really seeing much in terms of thunderstorms, not expecting anything severe out of all this for today. But we also have way out ahead of this a warm front, which is lifting through parts of the Northeast. And ahead of that warm front in the colder sector, that's where we got the snow coming down across parts of Maine. We do have some winter weather advisories in effect in interior parts of Maine up into the Northwoods. That's where we could pick up a couple of inches, and it could affect your morning rush in particular. So here's timing this out with this cold front as it progresses off towards the east. That moisture becoming a little bit more prominent and widespread across the region. Pittsburgh, you're going to be waking up to some wet conditions on the roadways. Nashville, that will likely be the case for you as well. Spotty showers on the south end of this across Alabama and Georgia. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal for you. The rain holds off on the I-95 corridor until we head towards the evening hours. So enjoy the afternoon before that drive gets a little bit dicey and wet. And that cold air wraps around on the backside of all this, and lake effect snow showers coming in on the lee side of all the lakes for your Friday morning. So big changes ahead with this front. Fortunately, we had lighter rains earlier this afternoon, and now we're getting the heavier rainfall rates in on top of that, and that is leading to some of that standing water. So this is going to be the big area of concern. The heaviest rain has been offshore, but now we're seeing that pushing its way onto the shore, and that is what's causing some of the flooding here. Our radar is estimating somewhere between about 1/2 inch to as much as 3 inches of rain that's come down just in the last 3 hours. So that's a very short period of time. And when the ground was already getting saturated from the lighter rain, you put that rain on top of it, and that is a bad situation. Here we can see through the upper Keys, rainfall amounts 2 to 3+ inches, even as much as 3.5 inches across the region. And oh wow, offshore, more than 5 inches. So we can be a little bit grateful, I guess, that it could have been worse had this been westward by just a couple of miles. What an incredible close shave when you think about it that way. So this is tropical moisture that's getting fed in across the region. This is what we call the water vapor. And we knew that there was the availability of 2-3 inches, which is really high moisture content for this time of the year. This tends to be a drier time of the year here in South Florida, and we see that flow of that moving in across the Keys in South Florida, which is very different from what we're seeing in the northern parts of the state. You guys are a lot drier. So while some of that rain has made its way up along the I-4 corridor, that hasn't amounted to very much at all. The higher concentrations have been here, maybe around Lake Okeechobee or so, and southward. So that's where we have the most available moisture. That's getting concentrated ahead of our front here. And this isn't going to move very fast anytime soon. Now, the storms have not been severe. We've got a little bit of shear, and that's why we've been seeing some water spouts developing. We have to keep an eye out for the risk of any of those working their way on shore. That could potentially then become a tornado and cause some damage. But a lot of the strong upper level winds are farther up towards the north. So that's why we're not dealing with a huge severe type of an event here for today. We're just dealing with the locally heavy downpours, and that's what we can expect through the day tomorrow. So we have a very similar setup, not a lot of movement. The cold front gets a little bit closer, and that's going to be the main thing. But we're also tracking an upper disturbance that's into the Gulf that's also helping to steer some of that moisture here towards much of Florida. So let's time it out here for the rest of tonight. You can see some of this does begin to lift on out, we think, and that could move a little bit closer towards the Space Coast. But then another surge will likely lift back in across the region for tomorrow. So look at this. Rain chances are going to last all through the day here on Friday, and we could have more trouble when it comes to flooding as we